Oh, hey everybody. I'm gonna be honest, I've really covered most of the important things. Now, at least that I know, because I'm obviously still learning too. But, I did realize I kind of looked over something. So, let me show. Let's just get a simple chord progression going. We'll do the one we always do, which is 1, 4, and then we'll put in a 5, right? That's an A. And then we resolve it. And then right? So let's just play that. Wow, beautiful. Now, what if we... There's some more ways we could spice this up without changing the chords. And that's using what's called non-harmonic tones. And as with every topic in music theory, what I'm going to show you is by no means the only ones you can use. Make up your own. Do whatever you want. If it sounds cool, go for it, you know? But here are some pretty useful ones. So, I gotta see, because the spiciest one, yeah, okay. So, first we're gonna see, okay, so this top note, it's usually called the soprano note if you're using 4 voices, but this highest note of the chords, right? So on the 1 chord it's G, on the 4 chord it goes to A. Okay. So what if we just throw in, what if we do this? We kind of prepare you for the A. Okay, that sounds already a little interesting, right? And then what if we, because this goes down to a G, right? Actually, I don't know about that one. Now, but we can do it here. We see the F, and then it's going down to a D. Why don't we put a little walk down to the D there, so the notes kind of go down to the D. And then, looking at this bass note, what if we, instead of making it a C immediately, we keep the D and then resolve it in a delayed style to the C, right? So now it sounds like this. Right? That's a lot more stuff going on, and it sounds a lot more lively, and you can keep adding stuff like this. You can keep going. Now, so I'm going to show you what I did. This is called, Jesus, I'm blanking out on the name, but just consider it like a preparation, because you're preparing the note that is going to come in the next chord in the chord before it, right? And then this is called this right here, this little walk down to the D, the F to the D, this is called a passing tone. And it's called a passing tone because you're kind of using it to pass on over to the D. And then this is the spiciest shit right here. This where we kept the D and resolved it to a C after the chord already hit. This is called a suspension because you're suspending the note out that shouldn't be in the chord, right? Well, it's better put as you're suspending one of the notes from the previous chord into the next chord and then resolving it as you would have before the suspension. And they always sound really cool. There is another thing, a very close relationship to the passing tone is what's called the neighbor tone. I'll show you what that looks like. So a neighbor tone is instead of passing to a note, that's a third down or a third up from the note you originally started at. You see how I have 2 C's here? Well, what if I just, throw in a B for fun here, so I go C, B, C. This is called a neighbor tone. And the best way I think of it is because you're at a note, you briefly go away, and then you go back. So these are a lot of spicy. This is really spicing up that chord progression we just heard before, right? Now, the suspension in particular, I really like. Let me show you what I mean. Let's make a new chord progression. Let's spice it up. We'll do C sharp minor. So let's just get like a massive C sharp minor chord, right? Oh, that sounds moody as hell. All right. And then we're going to do a simple 1. So this is, remember how I said that the 1 chord in second inversion is also a dominant chord? And because the bass note is a G sharp and C sharp minor goes C sharp E G, that means that this is in second inversion. So we're going to keep the G and we're going to make these all into a G sharp major chord. Except this note, right? We're going to suspend this note. We're going to suspend the top note as a C and then resolve it to its correct note and then make a C sharp minor chord like that. So this is another suspension. Oh, this is going to sound cool. Alright, so like, I really love suspensions because, like, that little bit of dissonance you just throw in right at the start of the chord is really satisfying to hear resolved, you know? This is like as, like, moody, moody fucking classical music you can get with this chord progression. But yeah, that's what we call non-harmonic tones, or more reasonably put, non-chord, using chords. Jesus Christ, let me say that again. More reasonably put, using notes that aren't in the chord you're using in the chord, right? Now, what I showed you is by no means the only ones you can use. Those are just a few really popular ones, and for good reason. They're really nice. So, just to recap, if you have a nice little chord and then you also have a C, when you move either up or down and then move back to the same note in the other chord, it's a neighbor tone. But if you notice you have, let me do something like this. Oh my god. There we go. If you are walking up to a new note that's a third apart, that's a passing tone. Alright, and then there's the preparation, which is, well, this is going to an A, right? So why don't I just, preemptively put the A in to kind of make that chord, to kind of prepare you into that chord. You see, it kind of like, it preemptively makes you feel the chord almost. And then there's suspensions. Suspensions are those really spicy things where you hold a note from the previous chord and then resolve it, usually downwards, in the next chord. So those are non-harmonic tones, non-chord tones and chords. I really like them. They're really fun to work with. And sorry if I explained this stuff badly. I mean, if you have questions, asking questions, and hope you enjoyed.